Look at these two dudes, Huey and Nipsey Hussle.
Certain videos are meant to last a lifetime. This one ought to have remained dead. Not only did old film of Big U, his son Jabari, and Nipsey Hussle become viral, but it also exploded. What had appeared to be a serene recollection of three men relaxing on Crenshaw suddenly seemed to be a ghost speaking from the past.
I want to talk about, Big U. His son was assassinated last night out there in LA.
Weight, history, pride, and the kind of tension that never truly goes away in Los Angeles were all present in every picture. There was no nostalgia in the hood. The business is not yet complete. The video was meant to serve as a reminder of better times, fraternity, hard work, and hope. Rather, it resurrected all the wounds that South LA had attempted to conceal. Even a smile on old tape may feel like a trigger when the city was on edge. The streets observed, debated, and once more took sides.
We still out here. Hey, well, you did. Hey, we on tape, man. Y'all don't want to sign too grimy. Y'all want to sign too grimy. Look at these two dudes, Huey and Nipsey Hussle.
What had once been a unifying handshake now appeared to be the quiet before an unending conflict. In the video, Big U's voice was a combination of a parent who was proud of his heritage and a mentor. However, pride can be harmful in areas where names are more audible than gunfire. His straightforward and lighthearted remarks turned into proof in 1,000 conspiracy theories. Love was not heard on the internet. Code was audible to it. That is the legacy's curse. Every word is broken down. Every grin was repeated as if it were a hint. In plans, Nipsey Hussle dreamed. Where others saw pavement, he saw property. Where others see danger, I see empowerment.
Let's not forget, homie, they killed Nipsey Hussle. Eric Holder was not a lone actor in that. If you go back and follow the details, Nip and Big U got into it. Big U hit Nip Daddy across the head with a bat. His brother had to come out and shoot.
Before he even spoke peace, Big U, who was older and more seasoned, knew the neighborhood. When combined, they appeared to be a blueprint for rebirth. However, the combination of ambition and history is unstable. Fans referred to the breakup of their alliance as fate. Even success might be a setup in Los Angeles. Jabari Henley has no intention of pursuing notoriety or territory. He was working long hours, trying to lift the curse and raising a daughter, a silent artist at night and a warehouse supervisor during the day.
Son has been taken out. If you don't know who Big U is, just a simple Google search would, would suffice. Big U allegedly had something to do with the killing of Nipsey Hussle. That's never.
His uprising was typical, but bloodlines cast long shadows. Your last name can be your greatest danger in a city that never forgets. The city kept switching back to the previous screenplay despite Jabari's attempts to rework his story.
Nasty work, man. Again, Big U, his son, Baby Huey, or Big Huey, right? He was assassinated last night on Halloween out there.
On the internet, conspiracies are valuable. The rumors about Big U persisted for years after Nipsey Hussle was killed. One narrative retold, one embarrassing chuckle on a live feed, and the internet created a myth larger than any trial record. Narrative was more important than truth. People had already determined who the antagonist was by the time the old footage reappeared. October 31st, 2025. On the 69th, a peaceful night on Fig devolves into tragedy.
On the block.
Big U's son has been taken out.
Laughter blends with the low bass buzz of passing cars as children dressed in costumes rush between streetlights. The scent of danger, fried food, and fireworks permeates the air, the typical South Central Halloween cocktail. Then, like a scene that has been practiced too much, a black sedan rolls up slowly. The windows are lowered just enough to reveal the interior shadows. Talk, then mayhem. Shots reverberate, maybe 5 or 6, and the darkness opens up.
I'm gonna be honest, bro, because even though, you know what I mean, his son claimed Crip, you know what I'm saying? That's what you seen him with Nip in the little reel, and you know that's what he claimed. I don't think he was like probably actively out here hitting people. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of born into it. You know what I mean? Because it's like
the crowd disperses. There is candy all over the sidewalk, masks ripped off in a frenzy. The cacophony is broken by a scream. Jabari collapses. Another kid is claimed by the same corners that formerly crowned legends. The time on the clock is 11:11 p.m. The kind of symmetry that comes back to haunt you. After a little period of peace, everything vanished. Before assistance arrives, phones are used. There's a live feed. Someone is sobbing. There's a whisper, not him. The air thickens with disbelief as streetlights flicker over the blood on the pavement.
I don't know why he was going to a smoke shop over there, but you know what I mean? That kind of sealed the deal for him, you know what I mean? Condolences to him, condolences to the family. You know, Big U, he going through his thing, and he fighting a whole different battle, so I know he in there mourning right now, and it's just, no parent wants to hear that their child, anything happened to their child. I don't care what, even if the child was doing bad shit or not.
The silence is broken by a mother's voice, addressing him by the name only family members use, and pleading with him to wake up. Minutes later, police sirens shrieked like the city's own sorrow. They urged the mob to disperse and shut off the street, but the harm has already been done. Heartbreak cannot be taped off. Under flashing lights, paramedics labor with blank faces and red gloves. Throughout the night, the sirens howl, a sound that has been a part of the neighborhood's beat for a long time. The same depressing song has another verse. Even though they are trained not to flinch and move quickly and precisely, they can sense it. It's not simply another call. He had plans tomorrow, someone murmurs. He was altering things, according to another. However, dreams are unimportant to the street. Names, not futures, are what it recalls, and it adds another tonight. Everything they performed was done correctly. Hope, oxygen, pressure, and compressions. However, some tales conclude before assistance can be provided, before the ambulance even parks. Some people's hearts cease. Critical was mentioned in the radio talk, but there was no longer any stillness. According to the investigation, there were many gunshot wounds, just cold, crisp words on paper. However, the hood already knew what that implied. The mural wall has another name, another face haloed in memory and smoke, painted in shades of blue and gold. Mothers sobbed. Telephones are lighting up, and one of his songs was playing repeatedly on a speaker somewhere. His words reverberated as if he was still there. There was only fate. No drugs, no high, no error. Putting on the incorrect mask. The city consumed one of its own on yet another evening. The block was cordoned off by police. Like false hope, yellow tape fluttered in the wind. The cameras rolled. The number of people increased. Children who had formerly looked up to him now stared down at the sketch in chalk, trying to figure out why heroes never seemed to live long. His name was yelled by a woman till her voice shattered. In a whisper, someone said, "Not Nipsey." Another person muttered, "They got him." The narrative abruptly changed from one of promise to one of tragedy, from hashtags to headlines. The stain persisted even though the blood had been cleaned away by daylight. Concrete doesn't forget, and so does the city. It always does. Tom stopped when Big U received the news from a fellow prisoner. The cell's air became heavy and difficult to breathe. On the streets the man used to be afraid of, suddenly he was helpless behind him, his name uttered with reverence and caution. His voice cracked like old concrete as he said, "Not my boy, not like this." His words hardly made it past his lips before they were completely absorbed by silence. There was no echo back from the walls. They simply stood there, heartless and icy. There were no gangs, no reputations, no long-standing connections to rely on at that precise moment. Just a father in a cage, discovering what it's like to be grieving without somebody to cling to. He sat on his bunk's edge and gazed blankly. The other prisoners, men who had witnessed everything, blood, treachery, and time, knew better than to talk. They have seen that expression before, the kind that produces ash from fire, the kind that reduces a man to the size of the area he is confined to. Big U's hands, which were formerly firm due to years of survival and discipline, suddenly shake. In a world that didn't love them, he recalled teaching his son how to fight and move wisely. He recalled every chuckle, every assurance that he would escape and that the streets would not accept him. The streets, however, always take their own. Beyond the concrete and razor wire, the city hummed, with sirens wailing, headlines flashing, fans in grief, and hustlers plotting. Big U was inside, staring at the wall with burning eyes and quivering lips in quiet prayer. This type of prayer doesn't ask for forgiveness. Rather, it asks for another opportunity to make amends for things that are beyond repair. His remarks were followed by silence, which said it all. Hashtags surpassed condolences by midnight. Strangers applauded a murder they didn't comprehend, referring to it as justice or karma. Like horror trailers, videos of Jabari's last moments went viral. Although platforms hurried to remove them, the harm had already been done. The fact that a 10-year-old girl had recently lost her father was overlooked while people laughed and quarreled. The new cruelty is that, transforming suffering into satisfaction. While the internet sought influence, detectives pursued leads. Each new post professed to be truthful. Exclusive details were offered in every thread. Advice poured in, the majority of it fiction veiled in assurance. Online users took on the role of self-appointed detectives, scrutinizing grainy images and uploaded videos as though they could solve problems that the police were unable to. The distinction between rumor and evidence became increasingly hazy until it was entirely lost. Big U sat silently in jail. Under the flickering fluorescent lights, his expression was unreadable. He was not speaking to the police, the cameras, or even to himself. Los Angeles held its breath outside, waiting for the next bit of news to break the stillness. Hungry for sound bites, reporters surrounded the station with their lenses aimed like weapons. A headline appeared every several minutes. As the inquiry pauses, there may be a new suspect in Nipsey's case, or a gang reprisal is expected. However, there remained uncertainty behind those headlines. Witnesses becoming silent, detectives pursuing ghosts, and a city torn between sorrow and rage. The streets were filled with smoke-like whispers of retaliation. The truth, some said, was already hidden. Justice never had a chance. Others claimed to have seen the murderer days earlier when he was still at large. Everything was consumed by the internet. Every theory, every rumor, and every screenshot is examined for significance. And Louisiana appeared to sigh under the weight of it all as night fell. Distant sirens. In the pitch-black sky, helicopters are making circles. One more incomplete story. One more headline that seems too familiar. No one was arrested. The investigation is still ongoing.